So today we're going to be taking a look at the game Capital Lux. I don't know why all of a sudden I wanted to do like a Terminator thing, but I don't know. I don't even think it has anything to do with the game, but it kind of looks like that. So we'll see how that plays out. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode with To Die For Games. I'm Mandi, the board gaming pinup girl.
And I'm Tracy, the gaming maven.
So today we're looking at Capital Lux. This is a fun little game. Lots of color, lots of stuff going on, lots of math. Who would have thought that I would be playing a mathy game? But anyway, super interesting. So, before I get into all that, Tracy's got to go over the business.
Yes, very important. We have timestamps below, so if you need to know what the components are, making sure you're not missing anything, click on a timestamp. And we also have a comment section. You can let us know what you think, and you can subscribe so you can see what else we're posting.
So now that that's all done, let's get to checking out Capital Lux. In Capital Lux, players are trying to gain the most points by having the largest amount of profession cards as well as bonus cards throughout the round. You can use the secondary action on cards to help you attain this goal. So here we have the capital cards. So these are where we're going to take our actions. We'll talk about those shortly. Next, we have the modifier cards, and you'll notice they have a different back than the other cards, so they're easy to spot. Then we have the profession cards, and you'll notice they come in the same colors that are up here in the capital cards. Here we have the gold discs, more like gold squares, but those you can use to help you achieve some goals throughout the game. So now we're going to take a look at setup. So we have to put the gold discs to the sides. We're going to put the capital cards right here, and we can actually talk about what each card does in a moment. First, we want to have the profession cards somewhere close to the table because we're actually going to pass these out to the players. Passing these out is dependent, the amount of cards is dependent on how many players are playing. So in a 2 to 3 player game, each player is going to get 6 cards. So we'll put the deck to the side for the time being. These are the modifier cards, and they're generally shuffled. However, when we're determining start player, we're going to randomly hand these out, and whoever has the highest number, so they go from -3 all the way to +4, whoever's the highest number would be the starting player in the first round. That will change as the game progresses. Once you have your 6 cards, you're going to take a look and determine which cards you'd like to keep. Once you've determined which cards you'd like to keep, you choose 2, and then you're going to pass it. So choose 2, and then you'll pass it to the player on your left. You will also get another set of cards and follow suit and do the same. On the last round of the drafting, whatever remaining cards you have, those are the ones that you're going to keep. So you only get to choose twice, and then you keep the last 2 that are given to you. There are 3 rounds, so we are going to do this 3 times in the game. So now that you have your cards that have been drafted, we're going to talk about the capital area and the capital cards and your hometown area and playing cards here and some secondary actions. Something of note, you do not have to play cards on any of these spaces. You can choose to take a card from your hand and simply place it into your hometown. With the blue action here, this allows you to take a modifier. Modifiers can range in the minuses, I think it's -3, up to +4. You look at this and you determine which row of numbers you want to alter. The reason why is we want to either raise or lower the ceiling of numbers that are here. So, in this case, I'm like, there's not really much happening at this point. But if I had more cards out, then this would be very useful. So these are what's in my hometown currently. This is an example. So I look at which would be the best place for me to play this card. I think for me right now, I'm over the amount that's here. We don't want that because I'll lose my cards. I would place this card here. Probably here would be the best way. And this allows me to raise the cap on that, but only I know that. It's secret. So right now, instead of being 3 in this column, it's 3 + 4, it's 7. So I'm still safe, but nobody knows that yet. So that's what happens here with the blue column. Next, we go into the yellow one here. So this one here actually will give you a secondary action of gold. So if I place a card here, this allows me to take one of the gold tokens. The gold tokens can be used as victory points at the end of the game, or it can raise the ceiling of your points. So what does that mean? If I am over slightly, and for example, in this case here, I'm over by 1, I can actually trade that in and make this ceiling now 4. So 4 and 4, I would be equal to the amount that's here. Next would be placing on the green. So for the green, we place here. This allows me to draw a card from the deck and place it into my hand. Next, we have the pink action. So if I take that here, place a card here, this allows me to take the lowest numbered card from any of the green, yellow, or blue card rows. So in this case, I said, I don't really have much of the blue, so I'm going to take the lowest card and place it in my hometown. Now these actions or secondary actions are only possible if you're able to do them. If, for example, we didn't have any more gold tokens, then you wouldn't be able to take that action. The end of the round is triggered when one player has played their last card out of their hand. It gives every other player one more turn to play some cards. Something else to note at the end of the round, if you have cards remaining in your hand, what do? Well, you couldn't play them, but you have no choice. You now have to add them to your hometown. This can be damaging if it may cause you to be over the amount that would be listed in that row, which could cause you to lose these cards and not have them counted as points. At the end of the round, we're going to calculate scoring. So for example, I'm going to set some cards out here to show you what can happen if we're over or under the amount compared to what's in the capital. So at the end of the round, we're going to calculate the scores. So right now we want to compare with other players what's available. So here in my hometown, I have 2, but in the capital it's 6. So I'm still under the amount that's in the capital. However, I have to be wary if other players have a higher number than me, but are also still under. So for example, if another player had a 5 in their hometown, they would actually take that highest card because they're higher than my 2, but still within the limit of 6. So they would then take this card, and they would actually flip the card here as points for at the end of the game. They are going to get the face value of the card, but it's counted at a later time, hence the reason we turn it face down, so as not to confuse. So here with the green, I have 4, and this has 9. However, we've added a modifier to the card, so this actually has raised the ceiling. So 9, so we're now at 13. So if someone had bid over, that would have actually given them some leeway. However, they didn't know necessarily what was there because I placed the card, so I knew what was there. Looking here now at the pink row, this is a little tricky situation. So I'm actually over in this case. So here there's only 5, and here I'm at 10. So these cards are no longer of use to me. These don't count for anything. They're gone. So these would be out of the game. I don't get points for those. If you tie, in this case, it's fine. If another player, and I tied with another player, we still benefit from this. So for example, if there were multiple cards in yellow and 2 players had the same amount, so tied, and we're still under the amount that's here, the player that was first would take the higher value and have that as their bonus. And then the next player would take the next value, and that would become their bonus. Then we would set up for the next round. Cards that are here and in your hometown stay. Any cards that were not counted, they're removed from the game. Modifiers are also replaced and shuffled back into the deck for use in the next round. First player is based on the total amount that's in your hometown. The player with the highest amount in their hometown would start the next round. For a game end, you still do your scoring as you would normally. You calculate points from your gold and the amount in your hometown. You also need to count your bonus cards that were face down, and these are counted as well at face value. And the player with the highest value wins. So now we're ready to give a review of Capital Lux. So, what'd you think?
Love the colors. I was a little on the fence about it, and I couldn't tell why that first time, but then played it again later that day and actually did quite enjoy it.
I actually really like this game. I was a little worried because I looked at the theme and I'm like, okay, and I wasn't really sure where it was going, but it was pretty straightforward and I liked it. So let's take a look at, I'm going to be like all over now, we're trying something different here. Let's maybe start off with art and theme. Why don't we just go there?
Sure. Now the art's very colorful, very bright, you know, it stands out. It kind of reminds me of like the Fifth Element kind of movie.
It does a little bit,
It kind of has that unusual sci-fi feel. And I wasn't quite sure where I was going with that. Those discs, though, like you said.
Yeah,
like,
it was weird. It says disc in the
but
thing, but it's
square.
square. I'm like, it's
so confusing.
token?
But art, great.
Yeah, I agree. And I like the fact that it was, like, it had a little bit of diversity in there. You had women, you had people of color. So, you know, they're trying to show off everyone, which I thought was really cool. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really get the theme. It was fine and it was nice, but I don't understand how it tied into what we were doing.
I think it's mostly a pasted on theme. Like,
okay.
Like you're basically playing cards out to the center and to the thing, and you really could throw anything on that.
Right.
But I like what they did with the art, but yeah, it doesn't really make, like, it's not really part of the actual
I just
mechanics.
wasn't feeling the connection.
Theme and mechanics don't join together.
Yeah, so it's not a bad thing. I just, you know, it's like Lords of Waterdeep. It's good. I just wasn't seeing the connection.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump over to, you know what, let's talk about components while we're here.
It's a card game, so it's pretty traditional. Like I said, it's got good looking art. You can distinguish the modifier cards with the other cards, so it's not hard to mix them up. Those discs, like I said, they're kind of just cut like squares and painted gold. So those, I would like to see those like maybe be like metal or like I said, maybe with some kind of imagery like screen printed imagery on it would be really nice.
Maybe it would have like increased the cost, so they're trying to keep, because it's only like a $16 game or
True.
so maybe that's why. Maybe like a Deluxe
Lux.
Capital Lux. Okay, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's an option. So yeah, the components are pretty standard. You know, you got your cards. They weren't super thick, but you know, they were of decent quality. You had the wooden token. So overall, I mean, it's a card game, so it was good. The box, I feel the box could have been smaller.
It's portable enough, but it could be a really portable game. You could literally put it, in like a tiny little, like literally square box, like almost like a bicycle card box with a little bit more room for the tokens, and that's it.
But that's it. But overall, it's really good, so I didn't mind that. So let's now talk about gameplay. Like gameplay, how did you find the gameplay?
You'd think it would be really simple, and it is really simple, but you have to decide, okay, if I play it here, right now I'm over, but is someone going to modify it, or am I going to be able to change it so that I'm not over and I don't lose it? Because you want cards in your own space, but you want to put cards out to the capital because otherwise you're going to lose those cards. So
right.
It's that balance of where to play it, when to play it, hoping those modifiers won't adjust it too much.
Exactly.
But then also realizing an opponent might just bring a card just a little bit higher than yours, but still under the amount in the center.
Exactly. That just happened to me several times. But it's a lot of counting. You got to make sure you're on top of the counting. So you start calculating wrong. Oops, all of a sudden you're over. You've now lost all your cards. I do find that people look at it and think it's a simple game. And then once they start playing, it gets really quiet. Because everyone's now thinking, strategizing a little bit. I'm like, see? It's making you think a little bit. So I do find the gameplay, it looks at first like it'd be simple, but it does require you to think and use your mathematical skills.
You need to have some mathiness.
Yeah, I'm like, can we bring a calculator? I'm not that bad, I'm just joking. So let's now talk about comparable games.
That's a really good question. I'm trying to think of...
Are there any other games where you play cards like that on a line and then... I don't know if there's anything that compares to it, like in that gameplay sense.
That particular gameplay?
Like there's lots of card games where you play like in a sequence, but...
Exactly, and I'm trying to think. There's a lot of old traditional games, like traditional card games, but nothing really modern.
No, that I can think of. I'm sure someone will comment and
We'd
let us
love to
know.
what you think, for sure.
And that's totally fine. So overall, I actually really like this game. I actually do play it at lunch. It is slightly longer. To explain it, though, I find you may need to do some... I don't know how to explain it. Like, it'd be something that like you may not get through a full game if you were trying to do it at the lunch hour. The second time you play it, you would. So I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it doesn't do anything particularly new, but it is catchy enough to interest you. So when it comes to the table, I would definitely play it.
Yeah, see? Gets the brain going. So for me, 2 thumbs up. Oh, she gets 1.
Not because it's a bad game, just because, like I said, I would play it when it came to the table, but I wouldn't buy it.
All right, so I have it, so you can just borrow mine.
Exactly.
So that's it for now, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Follow us on social media.